Game Builder Studio.
Now let's set up the food items that the Hungry Hero is going to eat and consume and collect points. We'll set up the points functionality later, but for right now we're going to copy the obstacle template. We could clone this because they have a lot of similarities, but I'm just going to copy this and paste it. And I will name this food item template. And I'll also name the obstacle spawner while I'm here. We're going to need a separate spawner for the food items as well. And I'll change the frame index to 26. That is where the first food item lives. And I'll set the registration point to 15 by 15. And let's also just change the collision shape on this. Create something a little smaller. Alright. The food item entity is going to use the same concatenation technique to specify which frame index or which frame of the sprite sheet is going to be rendered. So we're going to change the animations. So let's get rid of all of these, and we're going to also change the naming because there isn't a flying and damage state. There's just one state for the food item. And I'll call this food item _1. And I'll make that the default. Set it to frame 26. Do food item 2. Set it to 27. You have to make sure you set the sprite sheet. Otherwise it will throw an error. Food item 4. And you'll notice these things are kind of being created out of order, and that's a bug currently. That'll be fixed in a future update. And last but not least, food item. And the key here is to remember to name these exactly the same, with just the index being the difference. We're going to also go to the random type setter, and we're going to increase the maximum to 5 because we're going to have 5 different food items. The concatenation string also needs to be changed. Let's see. We don't need the damage mapping because this item is only in one state. And we're going to concatenate using a different string. It's going to be food item _type. Get rid of that part of the string. Save that, and I'll go to the obstacle state and get rid of the damage state. We don't need that. I will also change the speed, set it to something like 350. You could set it to whatever you want. And let's create let's copy this spawner, the obstacle spawner, and create a food item spawner. And I'll call it food item spawner. And I'm just going to give it a different color. And this will spawn, you can set it to whatever, maybe let's try 0.5. And I'll also change the entity that's being spawned to the food item template. And we want it to be spawned along the y-axis as well. So I'll save both of those, and let's give that a run. Now we could increase the interval to have a lot more food items spawned. So let's go ahead and do that. Say every 0.1 seconds. All right. The aircraft and the food items were colliding, so we'll change the collision body type on the spatial to kinematic, because we don't want these guys to simulate and collide with each other. And we'll set up the collision logic next.